5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy T-Lo.
Yo, what's Gucci? This your man Tweet.
What up, y'all? DJ Kid Fresh.
What's up? This your boy RL.
And we're next.
And you're rocking with The Rebirth every Monday at 7 p.m.
With your host, Shea Marriott.
Let's go.
And Eli Isabel. At Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Good evening and welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3 FM. I'm your host, Shea Marriott, and tonight I have a guest host, but definitely a friend of the show.
Hello. How are you? For those of you that have not seen me yet, we were just teasing about this. You said, you're going to introduce yourself, Corey. I was like, all right, well, where have they saw me? Rebirth 1, 2, 3. I was in the studio.
Exactly.
Just tune in here. It's like wow. You'll see me eventually.
Yeah, you would definitely see him. He is definitely a part of the Rebirth family.
Well, yeah, thanks for inviting me back.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it. I have fun doing this for sure. Thank you.
Yes, you always bring the perspective.
I try.
The perspective. That might be a good name for a podcast. The perspective. Yeah.
Edit that out so nobody.
Yeah, right. I know. So how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad this weather's changing.
Yes. We are looking for some good weather the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 81 on Thursday.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I am here for it.
So you can't tell. I mean, I got the hoodie on.
It's okay. It's a little chill. I know I got my little belly out today, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You outside.
I'll be walking out the studio freezing.
Right.
That's what happens when drop a little bit of weight. You got to show off.
Right. You stretching for no reason.
Right. Exactly. So how have you been since the last Rebirth Live?
I've been good. I've been good. A lot of positive feedback on the Rebirth. Mm-hmm. All of them actually, but everybody really loved 3, and I was shocked. Yeah. The fact that they won a part 4, considering that it was the men, that was a thing. Yeah. So I was like, wow, they won another part 4. That's awesome.
They won a part 4. They won
good.
It. Yeah.
That's what's up.
So we are definitely going to satisfy that need, that want. It's just a matter of the date.
Yeah, right.
Locking down a date as to when we're going to start working on that. But there will be a Rebirth for 4.0. Rebirth 4.0.
That's what's up.
Live. And I'm not sure. I mean, although I love the location that we are currently at, because it's very intimate. But as you know, all 3 we sold out. So. Right. I don't know. It may be time to kind of move.
Yeah, you might have to do the Blue Rock Stadium this time.
Oh, yeah, right. Oh, my God.
Let's go to the Blue Rocks.
We're going to speak that into existence.
That's a fact. You just put the chairs on the field.
Exactly.
That's all. You know what I mean? Invite Drake.
Speak it into existence.
We'll figure it out.
For sure.
Watch. Drake lookalike.
Yes. So, again, welcome to the Rebirth here on Philly Jams. If you'd like to join the conversation tonight, make sure you give us a call at 267-908-3166, or you can simply just hit us in the chat. We are on Facebook, and we're watching our chats all through the time that we're on. So make sure if you got a question or you want to join the conversation, you definitely put it in the chat. So Corey,
yes,
we had for Right Here, Right Now. Eli usually does the Right Here, Right Now segment in the Black History segment. However, he is somewhere in Tampa chilling.
Is he?
How dare he?
How dare he? Right.
Shout out to you, Eli. I hope you're enjoying your time.
Stay hydrated, brother.
Right, stay hydrated. But for Right Here, Right Now.
I seen it flash on your screen.
Yeah, man. You know how you see these shootings and all of this stuff happening on TV, but I don't want to say that we're desensitized, with everything that we see on the news, but I feel like we kind of like, that's over there. Like, that's not happening right here.
It's in Kentucky.
It's over there,
Yeah.
But this was right here in Delaware, and it was probably the busiest Saturday because people are in there, not Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
Getting their stuff for Easter.
Right.
I'm thinking probably a lot of kids, right? Because, it's a big holiday for the kids.
Taking pictures.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. So those of you that did not hear, I'm sure you probably already heard, that there was a shootout at the Christiana Mall here in Delaware. Now, the reason why I said a shootout is because the shooter was not actually looking to shoot the actual people. You know how you have an active shooter and they're just walking through shooting. Right. This happened where the youth, again, our youth, teens, they got into an argument in the mall, and instead of settling it with, their mouth, they decide to pull out a gun and start shooting.
Right.
So the 3 people that was injured, and those were actually the teens that had got into the argument with the shooters. So they have not caught the shooters. It's 3 of them. They do have an image of them. They're all in dark, like black hoodies. They look like they about to do something.
Right.
Right? I mean, they're who walks through the mall like that?
Right.
Right. So, and I'm sorry, y'all, I didn't have a picture. I mean, I just found this picture that they released, so I didn't have a chance to get it over to the producer so you guys could see it. But it's 3 teens. I mean, these kids look like they probably about 16, maybe somewhere between 14 and 16.
Yeah.
But you can't really see their faces. I'm just kind of going by the image that I'm looking at right now. So they have not found them. They have not arrested anyone. According to investigators, the suspects confronted and assaulted an 18-year-old male victim while exiting the food court. So the 3 people that got shot I think 2 of them are in critical condition.
Oh, wow.
I believe. And then the other one is, they're stable. And then there were other people that got hurt, but it wasn't from the bullets. It was from the stampede, right? People running and everything. So, yeah, this is crazy, man. This is why, and we were just talking about how, like, for me, I don't feel comfortable in crowds anymore.
Right. Yep.
Like, even the outdoor concerts that are now coming, for the summertime and stuff like that, especially in Philadelphia.
Yeah, very true.
Especially in Philadelphia.
Right.
Like, over the weekend, did you see that? It was one of the days that was nice, and it was nothing. The first day of spring break, that's what it was. They just was all up and down the street. They beat up a police officer.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
so
crazy.
It makes you not really want to go anywhere, because you don't feel safe. So what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's scary. I mean, I think, especially, so here's the thing. I was looking at the picture that you had up, right? So there's 3 young males, right? Mm-hmm. You think about, we have children.
Exactly.
Right? Our kids are black. And then, you go to like an event these days, all the kids look the same. Mm-hmm. They have the wild hair. They dress in this outfit. They dress in that outfit. Right. So, you can just pick one, honestly. Yep. And then, that just kind of brings it back to like, you stop and you can stop my son.
Yep.
Right? Just because he's outside and he fits the description of what? You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely scary. I mean, not gonna lie, like, even though we think about it's happening somewhere else, sometimes I walk in the mall, I'm like, all right, so like, what's stopping somebody? Because people are crazy,
right,
for no reason, right?
Absolutely.
And then you saw it today. I think it was in Kentucky. Was it Kentucky? Or Louisiana?
What happened?
There was
today?
another shooting, right? So a guy got fired from a bank.
Oh my God!
And I think he shot like 8 people. I think he killed 3.
What?
Yeah. This is like this afternoon.
This is why I don't watch the news.
Yeah, this afternoon.
Seriously, because it's just too much. It's
this
too
afternoon. Yep.
Wow.
And then you have the people in Nashville, right? And that was at a school, but that was targeted, right? She had a problem with the master of the school or whatever.
So that was the reason?
Yeah, that's what they said allegedly. I'll say allegedly, but that's what I read. She had an issue with the master of the school, and she took action based off of X, because I think what I read was that she was trying to target his family, right? So
Wow.
Like, people are just out of control, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, before it's just be like, don't get in the car with anybody, driving and
Right.
doing all of this. Now you can't even
Right.
go to the store, go to school, let
Yeah.
alone, right? So, you know, I'm all for it at this point, man. Put metal detectors in the mall, like whatever you got to do at this point, because we can't afford to just be scared to just live life. But
Exactly.
unfortunately, this is a situation where we're in.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, not to find like the soft spot inside of it. I'm glad it wasn't an active shooter, right?
Right,
It was a
right.
targeted situation, right?
Right.
Doesn't make it any better for the the victims and the people that were scared inside of the mall. But the active shooter was super scared because,
Yeah.
to your point, they just walking through and whatever. But it also gives ideas to people that are deranged and crazy,
Exactly.
right? Because you think about
Exactly.
the governor when we just did this this past election. You know, one of the people lived in Delaware that tried to kidnap the governor and I think it was Michigan, right? So like, you think about that stuff, like, people are crazy everywhere.
They are.
You know?
And it's like, how do you even prepare? How do you prepare yourself? We always say be observant. You know, watch when you. So I tell my sons, and for myself as well, I try to, no matter where I go, what space I go into, I look for the exit.
Right? Yeah, true.
Right, as
Very
soon
true.
as I get in there, I'm looking for the exit. I'm looking somewhere to hide. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Why do we
yeah.
even have to do this?
Yeah.
You know, so I seen a couple things. Now, I literally just had an active shooter training 2 weeks ago. Okay, and I learned a lot from that training. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what I saw that was and it was a lot of people doing this on social media, which I found to be very, like, yo, you gotta think, right? I'm trying to be careful how I say this, because sometimes I feel people post to get attention
Oh, absolutely.
on them or whatever.
That's the new currency.
And
Attention.
the thing is, if you somewhere hiding and you are in the mall and you really don't know what's going on, you just know there's gunshots and there's fire, why are you putting on Facebook, oh, I'm here in Macy's hiding in the back where everybody, like, why? You don't know who's watching.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's true.
Why are you putting your location out there
That's true.
for the killer to come get you?
Yeah, very true. Very true. 'Cause it's not as simple as people just walking in. Hey, people are sophisticated these days. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah, I agree.
It was so interesting to me, because I'm just seeing it like on my stories, on my page, like different people. I'm like, yo, and a good friend of mine, they did the same thing, and I actually said, I was like, yo, stop putting your location, because if it's a person that's looking to just shoot anybody, they're gonna come right where you are.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, we just gotta, everything is not meant for social media. We gotta really think about that, especially something like that.
Yeah. True.
That's not meant. I mean, if you want to tell your family, your friends, like, hey, this is where I'm at, or whatever, but don't put it out there, because you don't know.
Yeah,
you
very
don't
true.
know.
Yeah. For what I hear, they said, like, the police departments handle their business. It was swarming out there, 60 some odd cops and helicopters and all of that. How they didn't catch them, I don't know. Right.
No, they didn't.
Yeah. But it's probably easy for them to just escape in some type of crowd. You know what I mean? 'Cause
That's what I
everybody's
said.
running out.
They walked right out.
Yep.
They whatever. So I know they were searching the people that was leaving, because my girlfriend and her family, they got searched.
Right.
They had big guns. They had to walk out they had to show their hands, and they pat them down, and they left.
Right.
But so I'm thinking either they threw the gun, hid the gun in order to get out, or they got out before the cops actually got there.
Yeah. A friend of mine was in the mall when it happened. Her and her family was in the mall when it happened. Said it was like a movie, like seriously like a movie. So, God bless to everybody.
Definitely.
Everybody, just make sure you're safe wherever you are.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And pay attention.
Pay attention.
You don't you know something, report something. Right? Just because it can happen anywhere for sure. But make sure you just protect yourself and stay out of harm's way. And if you don't need to be there, don't be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
Talk to your
shame.
kids. Talk to
Yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
Talk to your kids too. Because
Yeah.
it really starts with us.
And it's gonna be a whole different a whole different experience now at the Christiana
Oh,
Mall.
yeah,
We already
100%.
know that.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if you ever been to the Lenox Mall in Atlanta.
Yeah, I would not go there.
But here's the thing. Years ago, you couldn't even go to that mall dressed like this, how we dress. You had to dress up because it was just, a prestigious mall. All the celebrities will be there if you want to see a celebrity. That's how it was years ago.
Right.
Now, you see bonnets and slippers walking around. They done had so many shootings, so now they actually have metal detector now in order for you to go in. And I went when I was down there visiting my girlfriend. We went to the Lenox Mall. She was like, "I'm telling you, it's really different, really different." I was like, "Really?" I walked in there. I was like, "Oh, girl, and let's go."
Really? Yeah,
it was like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the world we live
Cops
in.
all over the
Sucks.
place. Yeah,
Horrible,
very different.
Horrible. But the other part is like not in the Christiana situation, but that gun reform is real.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gun reform is real.
Absolutely. So that was our right here, right now moments. Now, you guys know every Monday we actually come to you with Black History, something in regards to Black History. We just don't celebrate it during Black History Month. So every Monday we try to give you something. So guess you to birth. Today.
Oh,
Today, yeah, we have a few birthdays. Some of you might not know these people because you might be too young, and then some of you do. So Kenny Lattimore, he turns 53 today.
Oh, Kenny.
Q-Tip from the Tribe Called Quest, he turned 53 today.
My favorite groups.
And Orlando Jones, he turned 55 today.
Nice.
So yeah, so they all have birthdays today. So a little Black History quote by Marian Anderson. She says, "You lose a lot of time hating people."
Yes, you do.
You lose a lot of time hating people.
Takes a lot of energy.
Absolutely.
To hate.
A lot of energy.
And time.
Yep.
Then you go looking for the hate.
Right.
Looking for the hate.
Yep. Exactly. Or we kind of hold on to stuff
Yep.
that we still want to harp on instead of releasing it and healing from it and just being free of that situation. Amen?
Yeah. Amen. Like the church
I see
say.
eyes looking heavy on me. You know, people start looking heavy or they feel a certain type of way when they feel like you talking. That's how you know
That's how
that
you
it's
know.
hitting something. That's
Like, you got up and went to the bathroom during the service. Like, where
right.
you going? First of all, I can hate what I want
Right,
to.
you know what I'm saying? All that, you feel the heaviness, the heat
felt
from the
that.
eyes just came across
felt
me.
that.
Yes.
You gotta walk through it.
Gotta walk through it, So, so again, guys, welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3 FM. We are so happy to be here. Happy Monday to you. We are looking forward to a great week with the weather, so I hope you guys be safe. And the hot weather brings the crazies out, too.
That's a thing. I'm like, it's too early.
Even
for
with
all
the
of
driving.
this. Oh, yeah.
You be on 95 on a nice day, people are losing their freaking mind.
Motorcycles.
It's crazy.
Early, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So tonight, Corey, you yeah, it's always you, man. You always coming in here with this deep stuff.
Oh, man.
So you actually sent a video that we're going to show in a minute. And basically tonight's show is women, ladies. Are you attracted to Clark Kent or Superman? And we will explain. Watch the video.
Superman, Clark Kent, and Lois Lane. Clark Kent is vulnerable. He's emotionally available. He's accommodating. He's a great guy. Lois Lane isn't attracted to Clark Kent. He's attracted to Superman, who really, when you look at this character, is the opposite of Clark Kent. He's not emotionally available. He's exciting. Lois Lane gets with Superman. But the moment she gets with Superman, she wants him to be Clark Kent. I just described vulnerability as it pertains to women and men.
right, guys. Wow. What do y'all think about that? Hit me in the chat I'm actually gonna have my brother over here break that down to us, because when I saw it, I was just like, wow, this is good. I was like, yo, this is right. This is true.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a woman, but yeah, why y'all like Clark Kent and Superman? But I saw, so that post was a thing, and I don't think it was the same show. It might have been, but it might have been a different segment. And what he said was, women want to get Superman to tame Superman. So they enjoy trying to tame Superman as opposed to Clark Kent, who already comes with some of those tools.
Okay.
Right? So like people like to chase, so people think you can fix him, or you feel like you can do all of these things. So you chase the bad boy, right? And you feel like you can tame him, you feel like you can change him, you can invest in him and things like that, where Clark Kent has already been sitting there, right? But I thought it was super deep. Because that's very true, right? You know, you hear the cliche, like nice guys finish last, or, you know, you want the guy that's emotionally available, or you want him to be vulnerable, you want him to talk to you, you want him to help you do this and do that. But when you get him, you're like, he's boring, right? You want the action, you want the excitement, you want all of those type of things. But why is that? Because I think you can add. I think there's definitely a balance that needs to happen between whoever. Because I think guys do the same thing.
So what would y'all analogy be?
We like toxic shit, right? Like we like toxic. We like you to get in our face and be active. Like don't just be like, oh Corey, you know, it's okay. I want you to be like, yo, sit the hell down somewhere, right? Because that's what you're used to. Right, so sometimes you want somebody that's gonna put you in your place, because sometimes that feels like you care.
Okay.
Sometimes that feels like you're attached to what's going on, and you have a say so. You don't want nobody wants nobody you can just walk all over, at all.
Right.
Nobody
I
does.
agree.
Nobody does. So I think that men have the same issue in a different type of way.
Okay.
Right, because you could have the person that's home that's cooking and investing and all of these things, but you want the city girl sometimes, right? Freak in the bed, woman in the whatever that is, right? Like you want, that's where all of those type of analogies come from. So you kind of want that balance, but sometimes you get bored, right? So people talk about adding spice in your relationship. That's what the spice is. You want Superman, a dash of Superman,
And a
dash of the city girls. You want Cardi. You want all of that type of stuff, right? So, but why is that? And how do you ask for that inside of your relationship?
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
So those things are very real for everybody. It's not all women and it's not all men, but we all have a quest for a little bit of inside of us, and whatever that is. But I mean, I think the question would be, what's wrong with Clark Kent?
Right. Yeah. So wait a minute. So I have a question. So are you Clark Kent or are you Superman?
I'm both.
You both. Okay.
Yeah. I ain't bad.
He said I'm both.
I have been both. Let me say that. I could be both. I'm probably more Clark than I am Superman. But I think the thing is that we all have it in us to be that person. But you know, my brother used to tell me when I was younger, like different people bring different things out of you.
Very true.
Right?
Very
And good and
true.
bad. Good
Very
and bad.
true.
Right? And different people can make you feel different ways.
Yeah.
Right? So, but we have to be honest about those things.
Yeah.
Right? And one thing, so guilty pleasure. I don't know if anybody in this room, producers, Shea, any of y'all, anybody watch the Country Wayne thing on Facebook? The
No.
series? I'm gonna send it to y'all. I'm locked in 9:30 every day. Every morning.
Serious?
Do y'all know who Country Wayne is?
Yeah, and he was just on. He was just in a movie I watched. Praise This.
Yeah. So, right? So like he has this internet series that he does. And honestly, it's like one of the most views, period. Right? So like it's up there with any show that you would that gets views or whatever. It's up there. But anyway, he has a storyline with multiple storylines that's in it, right? And you start to see some of the things that we think are so taboo, and it's only us that are going through some of these things that happen in our relationship. But it happens across everybody. We just don't talk about it, right? That's why I feel so good when you get to that person that you can just vent to and they get it, because everybody goes through it. We just don't like to talk about it because we scared of what it looks like or what it feels like and things like that. But then that's why we go find Clark Kent, because he's the one that's going to listen to it,
Right.
or we go find our our work wife, right? Because they feel the one that's going to listen to it, and we feel like they have that spice. But again, I don't have the prescription. If I did, I would be rich to say, like, here's how you write the prescription to send to your mate or the person you're talking to or the person you like. I need you to have a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
So, okay, because this is opening up so much more, because that's also how emotional connections are formed.
Yeah.
Emotional relationships, right? So my thing is, what prevents you to be able to, if you're vibing with someone, like, you know, you and I, we have this vibe, right? We can pretty much talk about anything, right? What prevents that? Like, what was it that about you? What was it about me that's like, okay, we can talk about stuff like this that, you know, maybe somebody can't do in their own relationship. You know what I'm saying? I know it's this question you just asked, but like, what is it about? Is it the person's mindset, just being open to certain things, or the fact that, well, I can talk to you because I know you're not going to judge me because you don't have any connection to me?
I think it's all of that, but I think, you know, so for me, what I've always recognized is that it's easier to have those conversations, or whatever the conversation is, right? Because it doesn't have to be anything that's crazy. It could be talking about your dreams or your goals that you feel like you can't go home and talk about. But like, when you don't have an emotional responsibility to that person, it's easier to let that go, right? Because even if you do judge me, or even if we have this debate, I still get to like walk. There's no attachment, right? Like I don't have to have this responsibility of caring about how you really feel about it. Right. Like, because once I have a responsibility, I go home and be like, yo, so guess what? I have a responsibility to care for how you react to that. And so I don't want that responsibility. I want you to laugh. Whatever that, you can laugh about it. We can talk about it. You can debate. You can challenge me. It's no big deal. Like, and we really have a good conversation about that. And then that's it. Yeah. Right. And then you come back for more. Right. But that's the you know, the Clark Kent syndrome. Right. And I think that stuff matters. But I think that when you are able to have those free flowing conversations, it's just, I don't know. It's something that you don't get from everybody for sure. But it takes work to do that, and it takes a certain level of maturity once you're in the relationship to have that.
So I'm sitting here thinking while you're talking. I think too that, so men are fixers. I feel that men are fixers.
Okay.
I feel that I'm gonna say in my experience, because I don't want to generalize this. Most men, in my experience, have listened to fix it versus listening to understand.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, if that makes sense. All right. So they listen to fix it, right? So I think this is where the Superman thing. This is when Clark Kent goes into the phone booth and puts on his cape, right? Because the conversation could possibly start out as a Clark Kent conversation, right? But then all of a sudden, now the person is, I need to know how to fix it. So now here comes all the, oh, well, this, and that. And it's just like, sometimes we just want to just talk or vent, and I don't want you to fix it, right? So would the thing be, okay, hey, I want to share something with you, but I'm sharing it with you. I don't want you to fix it, right? Is that offensive when you come out and say it? Do you have to put that disclaimer out there? I'm not telling you this for you to fix it. I'm telling you this because I just need to get it off my chest.
I would venture to say that all things, not all, let me not say that. I think that the things that make people uncomfortable are the things that save you in the long run. So even if you have to say that, listen, setting the stage, like we talked about that last time I was here, we talked about emotional intelligence, right?
Yeah, we did.
And those rules save you from a lot of either heartbreak, disappointment in the long run. Because what feels good now may not feel good later, right? So you may have to say, listen, I want to tell you this. I don't want you to fix it. I just need to vent.
Yeah.
Don't fix it.
Yeah.
Right? Or if they go about it and try to fix it, you have to put up those boundaries and say, listen, I ain't asked you to be calling me and telling me, and
Right.
I don't need you to do that.
Right.
I don't need you to give me advice on X. I don't need you to come at my man or come at my girl crazy because I done said something to you that you felt like, oh, well, if I was.
Right.
So sometimes you may have to put those
That
buffers out
disclaimer,
there,
yeah,
right? Because there's
definitely.
nothing wrong with that. Because here's the thing: if you don't, people will blame you for not doing it later. Right? So people will use your lack of boundaries against you when it's convenient, or vice
Yeah.
versa. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like you have to put it out there if you feel like you need to, because sometimes people do too much, right? Like,
Yeah.
because to your point, sometimes people go in the phone booth to come out as Superman because they want to fix, but they also come to listen to manipulate. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And use that against you
Can't wait till
later.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right? I get to hear what he's not doing right or what she's not doing right, so
Right.
I can counteract that.
Right. Absolutely.
Man, you know, Papa, if he would have just got me a coffee this morning, he knows I'd be running late.
Right. Boom. Come in, coffee right there at the desk.
What you gonna do? Drink it. Drink it. Right? You were so nice. And you got it right.
Oh, thank you.
Right. That's all you need is the all thank
thought of
you.
me. Oh,
It's a wrap.
wow.
Oh, he done.
I appreciate
He gonna
you.
put that S. The S is gonna be bigger tomorrow. Like, he might
Right.
just sit at the desk of Superman.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's how it goes.
You're right.
And I don't, does that work that way for women as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've never heard it on the
Absolutely.
other side. Like if women get like accolades for that, like, oh, I appreciate, like oh, he appreciates me because I did something for him. I've never heard that
Yeah.
conversation on the other
Yeah,
side.
and I think okay, so my experience again, I always have to say
experience.
my experience. So even with being a therapist and working with men, okay,
Yeah.
especially my brothers, sometimes they forget that I'm doing my job.
Yeah, you gotta relax.
And it's like, you get it. You listen to me. Like I feel we're connected because you listen to me. No,
feel
bro,
like
you
we're
in
connected.
you in therapy. I'm supposed to listen to you. Like but but that is something that is needed. Like
Oh,
that's
100%.
something that they really do require, and they don't necessarily know how to ask that from their lady. That I want you to just listen.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
But I would love to know why that is. What's the change inside of that? So whenever y'all do, Rebirth 6.0, and y'all have the women up there, I'm just gonna sit in the back and just listen, because that's gonna be the vibe, right? Because you would love to hear what's on
Yeah.
the other side of that conversation. But to your point, you're right. I think sometimes we as men are hypersensitive to the attention that we get from certain people, females, accolades from work or things like that, and we become addicted to that, right? And you go looking for it, right? And sometimes you give off unwanted attention based off of the accolades or whatever you're getting from that moment. So sometimes, to your point again, it has to be boundaries set. It has to be things like that are established,
Yeah.
so things don't get out of hand. Because once you in that cloud,
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
happens in that cloud. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So we have two ladies that's sitting here.
Yeah, I was
And,
gonna
yep, I'm
ask
putting
them
y'all
too.
on
That's a
blast.
fact.
We have two ladies that's sitting here.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious to know,
Like duck too. Like duck.
what are you attracted to? What is your initial attraction? Is it Clark Kent or is it Superman? And I won't say your names, but what is your initial attraction?
Yeah, Michelle's. Dang, you gotta think about it.
First she popped her tongue, then she had to think about it.
Wow.
All right, the other young lady. Okay, so one of them said that they're attracted to the Clark Kent. Why is that? Why Clark Kent? Clark Kent. What you say? Because he'll change. Because eventually he could change. Okay, so if you was initially attracted to the Superman, do you not think that Superman can change? She said.
I ain't been here. What you say?
She said Superman gonna stay super. Everybody gonna want him.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Interested.
Everybody may be attracted to Superman just based off of the fact that they see him being Superman. But Clark Kent is what's needed, right? So if people realize that you have a Clark Kent, Let me tell you what this girl said to me one time.
What she say, friend?
This is crazy. Blew me away. She said it like 10 years ago, and I still listen to it. I'm like, what? Right? And she said to me, she said, let me tell you how deep it is. She says, I can have a best friend, like my girl, like my best friend, right? So while I was there, I was best friends. She says, I can find a best friend anywhere. I can find another best friend, but I can't always find a good man. You should not slip up and tell me about your man. I was like, what?
She said you shouldn't slip up and tell you about your man.
Meaning you should be safe with your man.
Around her.
Right? Because I don't know if she was classifying as her, but she made the statement.
Yeah.
So the statement, she was dead serious, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can find another good friend, but you can't find a good man everywhere.
Right.
So sometimes you out here just abusing your man or you discounting him. Understand that the person that's closest to you can come take him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because your replacement is usually close to you.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's usually close to you, right? So, like, but that was the thing, and that was real. I was just like, well, damn. Like, women are savages. Like, you just, she's like, yeah. That's how real it was. And she was just being honest. I was just like, damn, I've never heard that before, right?
So I have, in a different generation, using a different...
Your experience again?
using a different, I guess I'm going to say a tone of the conversation.
Okay.
So, which is crazy is my grandmother always told me, do not discuss with my girlfriends anything about me and my man.
Yeah, my mom just said that.
You know what I'm saying? So that was always law that I would hear from back in the day. And that was something that I never did. I ain't talk about anything in regards to, how he's, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's usually like this young lady said, sometimes you have people that are, they're envious of that and they're sticking around just to wait for you to mess up, do something so they can report it back anonymously.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
That's real.
So,
but my mom used to say the same thing. Like, no. It didn't connect the dots then, but I was like, I guess that makes sense.
If it's somebody that you care about, that you with, don't you talk, that's your business and your man business stays,
leave it there.
Yeah, leave it there. So, and I think and that goes both ways, not even just with your girlfriend, but also with your male friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you know how sometimes we get vulnerable, we get emotional, and we like, oh my God, no, he didn't. And you want to talk about the situation or what you're not getting, and that male friend is just like, oh yeah, okay, all right, like
I'm
you
in
said,
shop right now.
what is it that you need? I got you, or whatever.
And that goes for the guys too. Like, I think
Yeah.
that we have to make sure that we're careful about the things that we say about the females that we're with, right? Regardless of who it is,
Yeah.
right? Because here's the thing: men are visual beings. And those things lead to other things, right?
Absolutely.
So, like, you have to definitely pick your poison and watch where you have those conversations. You know what I mean? For sure.
We have a comment. It says, or is it the person that you are told not to worry about? I think it goes both ways. I think it's that too. Because sometimes the person that you think that you shouldn't be worried about, you should be worried about.
Yeah, 100%.
That little quiet mice.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
That's true.
But yeah, so, I thought that it was definitely thought-provoking because it's true. I think we say we want the Clark Kent, but we always go for the Superman.
Yeah, so, like, I'm a guy, you're a gal, so let me interview you. Right? So, right? So why is that? So not only personally, right, in your experience in life, but also in your profession, you see a lot of these cases. And why do women want? What do they want? Right? It's not about. I mean, the answers, like, we've seen, the answer could be cut and dry. But, like,
So
you say you want Clark.
Yeah, but then you go for the Superman.
But you want Superman. Now, is Superman necessarily a bad boy? Maybe not.
No.
Right? Or what can? Oh, how about this? What do you define as Clark Kent, and what do you define as Superman?
That's what I was going to answer. So, I think so. When you look at Superman, right? Okay. Now, even though it's the same person, and and I'm trying to keep my thoughts together because there's so much to say on this. But this is why I said certain things. I had to learn this myself. Certain things you gotta look. He can always. You can always help him dress better. You can always help him get a better pair of shoes. You know certain things that women that are so superficial. They was like, well, nah, I don't like the way he dressed, or nah, he needs to lose a couple pounds, or he needs to gain a couple pounds, or I had this thing about legs being too skinny. God help me. Thank God he delivered me from that. But
got the skinny legs.
To somebody, So okay, so here
I feel like
we
your
go.
producers know who it is too.
No. They don't know who this person is. No. No, you don't. You don't know who I'm talking about. I just said I don't talk about.
That's true. That's true.
But so I think we look at Superman. Superman is attractive. Mm-hmm. He's very attractive. He is he's in good shape. His body's in good shape. He knows what to do in a situation. He shows up when he needs to show up, right? Also, Superman may not always be about us, and women like that chase a little bit too, okay? Superman may not always be about us. Superman may be about his business all the time. So we look at real life dudes, guys today, maybe someone that's always in their career. They're just goal driven, career driven. Superman maybe in a nice suit or whatever, or somebody that dresses well, carry himself well, and so that's
like James St. Patrick.
Like,
was he Superman?
He too short.
Oh, Amari short. See, they want Superman.
That's the right
They describe as Superman. He gotta be 7'8", and have a good job.
Derek Jenks is not no Superman. No, he is not. Derek Jenks.
God.
I cannot. No, he's
Jenks,
not.
though.
Oh, well, maybe he's your Superman, but he ain't my Superman. Who else they said? Idris. Idris is Superman. Idris, the way Idris walk.
He's Superman. Now he down to his walk. I
The
don't think
way
Idris is tall.
walk.
He ain't tall.
Idris is at least 6 foot.
Is he?
Yeah, let me Google. Do not disappoint me right now.
Look at what everybody does for Superman.
How tall?
You gotta look up his height.
Idris.
How tall is Idris Elba? You gonna be like.
He's 6'2".
Okay.
That man walks like he tall.
Oh.
Okay, he walks like a lot of things.
Oh,
I love to watch him walk. Yes, I do. Okay.
Idris is Superman.
That's
the bar.
That's what someone said. Idris is Superman. Yeah.
All right, got it.
But okay, so I think that it's the Superman part is more of an appearance of what it looks like. The Clark Kent is, I need you to be this. He holds the stuff inside, but the Superman holds the physical. And they, you put them together. And it's just like, okay, boom, there it is, right? Ideally, there it is. But here's the thing. It's the same person, right? So Clark Kent and Superman, they're the same person. Clark got his nerdy glasses on. He got his hair, looked like it was laid down with spit on his hand,
The comb over.
He's that, right. But Clark will do anything for you. He's attentive. He's caring. He's nurturing. He's all of those things that we say we want. But because it comes in different packages than what it is that we want, we will dismiss that. We will dismiss that whole package, that walk down the street, everything that the person. That's why I said, if you don't know what it is that you're looking for, that you truly need, that person could be sitting right in front of you. You wouldn't even know it because you don't know what it is that you need for you.
Or, now here's the spin. Or he could be sitting right in your house.
He could be sitting right in your house. Yeah.
So, I think Ghost is probably one of my top characters in TV, period. Just because I understood him. Now, if you think, y'all all watch Power? First one, second one?
Yeah, I watched them all. I watch them all.
So, check it out.
Power Universe.
Check it out. So, he could be laying next to you in your bed. He feels like he always has to be Superman. And he can really be Clark Kent. Tasha brought out Superman. Angie brought out Clark Kent. Because Ghost was both, right? but he felt like he could not be his vulnerable self and not be the big drug dealer. He could not be the big businessman because Tasha always wanted X, right? But when he asked her, listen, you ever thought about anything bigger? Oh, I just always wanted you to be the biggest drug dealer in New York City. And she lost him, right? But when he got to Angie, he was talking about how he could have did X, Y, and Z in school, how he just wanted to be a businessman and not look over his back, how he wanted to just move out of the city and own multiple clubs, right? Tasha wanted him to be X. So you could be dormanting your Clark Kent and not allowing him and nurturing the Superman to come out of him or nurturing the Clark Kent to come out of him because you're so fixated based off of your history, based off of your past, based off of what you feel Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok is telling you, your girlfriends that don't never had a man is telling you what it should be, what Idris looks like, right? You got him out here trying to do leg lifts, right? Right? But he can be 5'11",
right,
and be everything that you want if you nurture that in him.
Yep.
Right?
I agree.
So sometimes Superman doesn't exist outside your house. He lives inside your house. And Superwoman lives inside of your house, right? But we just have to, one, be that Clark Kent so we can be the Superman you need to be.
Absolutely. That's good.
Right? So you have to sometimes nurture
Where
one
the
to
hand
get the
claps
other.
at? What's
You know what I
going
mean?
on, producers?
Yeah.
Where's the hand claps?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really, really good.
Yep.
And that is very true.
Well,
Absolutely.
so, I think, again, it works better when you're able to walk into your relationship that way as opposed to when you kind of have to work backwards. But it's very real, though.
Yeah.
Very real.
Yeah.
So, what are your Superman or your Clark Kent, whichever one you prefer?
So I think too, from the female. Now here's another thing. From the female perspective, right? So think about the ladies that are doing it on their own. Raise their kids. Taking care of, doing it on their own.
Yeah.
Whatever. Maybe something happened and they doing it.
Right.
And they do meet somebody. Okay. And it's hard for them to step away, to step outside of that superwoman because that's what she's been doing. That's what has made her, survive through the hard times. That's what, kept the family, on top and all of that. So now you have someone where she actually don't have to be superwoman. She can actually tap into her, Clark Kent, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But she can be right in the house, but then you will hear the comments of she's too strong or, oh, you got it. You take care of everything. You know what I'm saying? You hear those type of things. So we, like you said, I'm talking about the analogy that you just said, like the man being in a house and he could be your Superman, or your Clark Kent.
Yeah, he could be
Either
both.
way, he
Yeah,
could be both. And I think it's the same way with women, especially women that are so independent. And they meet a guy and it's hard for them to become interdependent. It's hard for them to be able to let up and let the man do certain things because they're so used to disappointments. And how do I know you're not going to disappoint me? Right? So as long as I do this, as long as I'm taking care of my bills, as long as I'm able to continue to do these things, even though you're asking me to let you in, it's hard to do that because how do I know you're not going to,
Well, here's the thing. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't know either when you're out here playing with Batman either or Superman. You don't know you don't know. We don't know as men and you don't know as women.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you have to take a chance and say, am I willing to invest? Am I willing to try? All of those things matter. And sometimes the answer is no, I'm not.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that you have to. I believe that with men, though, it's a little different, meaning from a woman to a man. If you table or teaspoon him, he will eventually change, and maybe not all, but I do firmly believe that, we were talking about, like, I think women really run this. I just always believe that, right? We're the face card.
You think women do what? We run what?
The world.
We
I mean, I believe that. I just believe that when a woman says X, we're gonna follow suit. And if you don't believe that a woman can't set this world on its ear, look at the Me Too movement. Men were shook.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing: if you said like, I'm not willing to do X, Y, and Z, the real man or the right man is gonna step up and do what he's supposed to do. Right. Because we follow that particular order. Right. And we are the face card, and we're the strong ones, and all of that type of stuff. Yeah. But I do believe once a woman says, "Listen, this is what I need, and this is what I need you to do in order to do X," you're either gonna do it or you're not. And that's really what you want to happen anyway, right? Because you want to shake out the bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. So to get back to your point, I think that if a woman says to a man, "Listen, I've been doing this on my own for 10 plus years. I done raised my kids. I've been the one that's been holding this down, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
I don't know what it looks like to be vulnerable.
Right.
I have no idea. I haven't had that luxury in 10 years. But I want to be. Here's what I'm willing to try with you. Here's what I'm not willing to give up yet. But here's what I am willing to try. And watch what happens. We just need a wedge. We just need to see your investment. And usually we're going to return on your investment. Or we're not. And then you need to sell that stock then.
Right.
Right? But at the end of the day, we just need a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit to, oh, okay, you trust me, or you're giving me something to work with. If he doesn't see a place where he can be anything to you, he's going to lose him. He's just going to stand in his ego.
Yeah.
Right? But I do believe that eventually we need to figure out what that ego struggle is. And if we're willing to put that down a little bit, that's better than standing in this, I'm strong and I've been doing everything. Like, that's cute, but that's not going to get you where you need to be. Because eventually we get tired of that.
Absolutely.
Damn, you that strong? Okay.
Absolutely.
You don't need a spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Strong woman.
Yeah. And that would be, that type of conversation is so healthy. How you just put that, I always tell you need to be a therapist. But how you just laid that out, but a person that is not aware of their own issues, is not aware, if they don't have any self-awareness about themselves, cannot engage in that type of conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what that's what has to come first, right? Because in order for me to even say what you just said, which was so eloquent, that was perfect. I can't get there if I don't acknowledge that I'm walking around with this masculine energy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And some women have walked around so long with masculine energy that they don't even know how to be feminine anymore. They don't even know. You know, you got coaches, people out here making money off of teaching women how to tap into their feminine energy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if I tap into that awareness, then I can sit down and have that type of conversation with you, and all will be well. But that's the problem. And then on the men's side of that, you know, you have to be aware as a man that when a woman come to you with that, on that type of level, that you know what to say, after that, because I don't think a man that's not tuned into himself and what he's capable of and has done the work, they might just be like, oh, okay, word. You know what I'm saying? Or, no comment at all, or sell this false promises.
And I think that we're guilty. I've definitely been guilty of it, right? So, like, for me, I know what I'm not and I know what I am, right? I may not articulate that out loud to the females that I've dated or, like, the relationships that I've been in, but I already know, right? But I think the thing is, for me, is that, not me, just men, period. We have to be willing to strip our ego of all of those things. Yeah. We have to be willing to learn. And I think that we are, but I think we hold on to our masculinity and our vulnerability. It's everything to us. That's why you get one time to mess it up.
Yeah.
Right? And we can't recover from that 100%. Right? I believe you can recover from anything, but you may not recover 100% with that person. Right? That's why you always go look for that new start. because like look, I can't go back to this. You know what I'm saying, or whatever that is. So I think that you have to be able to strip your ego to hear what she's saying to you, and understand that sometimes the answer is just no.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want to hear no.
Right.
Sometimes we don't want to hear it's not her. Sometimes we don't want to hear it's not him.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's just the answer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's just that simple, and sometimes we make it harder than really what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but like, but if again, same way for a man. Here's the things that I'm willing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the things I'm willing to not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I was listening. I always forget his name. He's on Sisters. What's the guy's name? Y'all know him.
Oh yeah. Zach, but
Zach.
that's not his real
Zach,
name. Yeah.
And he was on. He was on the Breakfast Club. And he was talking about. Here's the thing. We only get one life.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got time to be playing with you.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that for us as men, we have to necessarily make sure, and vulnerability goes inside for the relationship that we're in with the woman that we're in, but also for us.
Mm-hmm.
The ego starts with us. We have to check our ego, right? Because I think our ego will make us hold on to something that we should have been let go. Our ego will make us stay too long. Our ego will not let us have an honest conversation because we feel like we're people pleasing.
Right.
Or what is that going
Right.
to look like if we do X, Y, and Z? Or if I say this, she's not going to do this, or she's not going to respond. Or as fathers, we hold on to our ego so heavy. But sometimes we have to understand, like, sometimes the answer is the answer. And sometimes we hold on to something for so long, not just in relationships, jobs, anything, right? God wanted you to let go of that a long time ago.
Right.
Right? And you getting punished because you just won't let it go.
You won't let it go.
Right? So at the end of the day, you have to figure out what that looks like. And sometimes I may need to prepare myself to sit in front of you to hear you say, I'm not giving you control of these finances. But you get up every time. Here's what I am willing to do, though. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's all like relationship 101 or commitment 101. That's all of that, because, and again, that flows inside of your regular relationship with your family, right? Like, we ghost people, right? We don't really answer questions. We feel like we have this energy where we feel like we don't have to give an answer to anything. And all that's kind of like surrounded by fear and insecurity and all of those type of things. So you strip some of that, you'll get a totally different person. Clark Kent,
Definitely.
Superman, whoever it is.
That's good. That's really good. It's funny because I've learned to really truly just be very honest when it comes down to my answers with things, and so maybe sometimes brutally honest to a degree. Like even with my friends, if it's something that I know I'm not gonna be able to do, I can't do, or whatever, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna be able to do that, or yeah, that's good, I know that's cool, but it just happened. It just happened before we got on air. and the person looked at me and was like, whatever, you always got something, but they can respect my honesty. But they know when it is something that I can do, that I will do.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I've learned to let my no's mean no and my yeses mean yes. It's because when you say no to other people, you're saying yes to yourself.
100%.
And we got to be okay with that. But this really can go on and on. I just wanted to tap into some of the comments. So someone said Tank is Superman. Okay. Kevin Samuels is Superman. I don't know about all that.
Aye.
Kevin Samuels is super dead. So I don't know.
Dang, son. She gave us Kevin like
Comment said, I think they want the person everyone wants. I'm assuming that's what it meant. That's the attraction. But when you find you want Clark Kent to be your balance. So a Clark Kent with a little Superman. Okay. And hey, Sophasia, she says very true. So true. Absolutely. So yeah, man, this was good. Good conversation. Very thought provoking as always.
Yeah.
You always bring the fire and have us thinking. But it is so true. I can truly say though, I had to change that. I had to really change because, honey, them Supermans, honey. Like somebody had said earlier, everybody want that Superman. So that Superman have options. That Superman got a lot going on. But,
sure.
I think it's the guys. I love the Clark Kents. I love, the men that everybody tend to like, they can't see that you put pressure diamond. What is a diamond initially before it's a diamond? Right? That's why they use that term diamond in the rough. What is wine before it becomes wine? Yeah. Right? So, we had, I don't know if I sent you this Instagram video or you sent it to me. I think I sent it to you. Yeah. But it was the lady that said, my man could work at Burger King. And she said, and I will multiply whatever he does by 3. She said, because he can work at Burger King, but I will show him how to own Burger King, several Burger Kings, right? She was just, using that. And she was basically saying, if he's a good man, if he's the man that, has those qualities, then it's not really about what he does. That whatever he brings to the table, a good woman that's invested will multiply that, will help him multiply that. And that really hit because I agree with that. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. So, yeah, good combo.
It was good. That was quick as
it went fast. I know, right?
Jeez, that was crazy.
It went so. We waiting for the perspective. The perspective.
Oh
podcast.
yeah, perspective podcast. Yeah. Perspective podcast coming soon.
Coming soon, along with Rebirth 4.
Right. That's funny.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, Corey, thank you so much for holding it down. I appreciate
Thanks
you.
for inviting me.
Always a pleasure.
Have a good time. This was good for me.
Absolutely. And guys, if you want to hear more from Corey or, get him to force him to get his podcast going himself because the brother is very knowledgeable. Make sure you follow him on IG as well.
It's coming.
You want people to follow you? Because your social media thing is up, I believe so. Sorry if they didn't.
No, it's all good. You good. Follow me.
Sir Francia says Superman will be too busy saving everyone while you're home alone. I know that's right, girl. Oh, my God. Oh, I got something to say about that.
Oh,
and
boy.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy.
That's a good one. I love that. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
What you oh boy about?
Boy.
What?
He out saving everybody. Is he?
That's true because
Maybe because you can't be saved.
That's that's a whole nother show.
You don't want me to save you. You want to be home.
That's a whole nother show.
Right,
but no, because that is true. I'm telling you that was so true. That was a situation that I have experienced. And she knows what I'm talking about.
I'm sure.
But yeah, Superman out there saving everybody because I know we ready to go over. It's a sense of validation. So I want to put that out there. When you out, whether you a man or a woman, if you are a person that is a savior, and I do use Superman as this. If you're a person that is a savior, it's something about being able to pull somebody out of a tough place or tight place that gives a person validation.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when a person, I'm not going to say man or female, is not able to validate themselves, because I'm not even going to say that the validation wasn't happening at home. Because the validation can be happening at home, but because it's the same person that's validating you over and over again, you need to go out and figure out, is she just
BSing me.
She's just BSing me.
She gotta say that.
Or right. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely, I definitely agree with that. You about to start a whole nother conversation.
I know.
With that comment, that was a good one. All right, any last minute?
No. I think this is a good conversation. But the last thing I will say, I guess, is that sometimes Superman or Superwoman is in your house, and you have to invest in one to get the other. Or sometimes people have to show you that they can be Superman so they can be Clark Kent, or vice versa. So
I agree with that. Yeah. So, ladies, y'all go home and ask your man, are you Superman or are you Clark Kent?
Good question. Like, what you think I am?
What are you? Are you Superman or are you Clark Kent? See what answer you get.
Right.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you again, Corey. I appreciate you.
Anytime. Had a good time.
Make sure you follow us on social media. If you are not following Rebirth, make sure you go to Instagram and follow Rebirth_radio. Make sure you're following Philly Jams. We have a lot of things that are going to be coming up, especially with the weather being nice. So
and be safe out there.
Yeah, be safe. Please be safe, y'all. Be safe. Come on. We got to do better. Look out for each other.
Talk to each other. Book
Talk
your
to
appointment
each
with Shea
other.
so y'all don't
Oh,
be out here bugging
hell
out.
no. Wait a minute. I
Book your
already got
appointments.
a waiting list,
Be
Corey.
respectful. Be respectful. Don't be out.
Yeah.
Getting the axe.
Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all have a good weekend, and I will see you next Monday.
Absolutely.